Can a spouse convicted of adultery still share in the conjugal partnership? This is illustrated in the case of Virgilio Maquilan versus Dita Maquilan with GR number 155409 decided on June 8, 2007, where the Supreme Court clarified whether conviction for adultery automatically disqualifies a spouse from sharing in the conjugal property. The facts of the case as found by the Court of Appeals are as follows. Petitioner Virgilio Maquilan and respondent Dita Maquilan are spouses who once had a blissful married life and out of which were blessed to have a son. However, their once sugar-coated romance turned bitter when the husband discovered that his wife was having illicit sexual affair with her paramour, which thus prompted the husband to file a case of adultery against the wife and the latter's paramour. Consequently, both the wife and her paramour were convicted of the crime charged. Thereafter, the wife, through counsel, filed a petition for declaration of nullity of marriage, dissolution and liquidation of conjugal partnership of gains and damages on June 15, 2001 with the Regional Trial Court Branch 3 of Nabunturan, Compostela Valley, docketed as civil case number 656, imputing psychological incapacity on the part of the husband. During the pretrial of the said case, the husband and the wife entered into a compromise agreement regarding the partial settlement of the conjugal partnership of gains. However, the husband later filed an omnibus motion praying for the repudiation of the compromise agreement and reconsideration of the judgment on compromise agreement on the ground that his previous lawyer did not intelligently and judiciously apprise him of the consequential effects of the compromise agreement. The Regional Trial Court denied the omnibus motion as well as the subsequent motion for reconsideration. The issue here is whether or not a spouse convicted of adultery is automatically disqualified from sharing in the conjugal partnership property. The Supreme Court ruled in the negative. A spouse convicted of adultery is not automatically disqualified from the sharing in the conjugal partnership property. The court held that Articles 43 and 63 of the Family Code of the Philippines, which pertain to the effects of a nullified marriage and the effects of legal separation respectively, do not apply. The court emphasized that forfeiture of the share in the conjugal property applies only in cases expressly provided by law. The Supreme Court ruled that the conviction of the respondent of the crime of adultery does not ipso facto disqualify her from sharing in the conjugal property, especially considering that she had only been sentenced with the penalty of prisión correccional, a penalty that does not carry the accessory penalty of civil interdiction, which deprives the person of the rights to manage her property and to dispose of such property inter vivos. The court further held that no petition for legal separation was filed by the petitioner against the respondent. Hence, Article 63 of the Family Code finds no application. Moreover, the spouses voluntarily separated their property through compromise agreement with court approval under Article 134 of the Family Code. Therefore, the Supreme Court upheld the validity of the compromise agreement and ruled that the respondent remained entitled to her share in the conjugal partnership property despite her conviction for adultery. The conviction of a spouse for adultery does not ipso facto disqualifies such spouse from sharing in the conjugal partnership property unless the law expressly provides for forfeiture. This case teaches us that forfeiture of property rights cannot simply be presumed. In family law, disqualification from property relations must always be based on express provisions of law. This has been Hamora Maria the Third L. Hamora, a second-year law student, and this has been your deep dive into Maquilan versus Maquilan. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more legal breakdowns and case digest. Keep reading, keep grinding, and I'll see you in the next video digest. Padayon, future lawyers!